Hi, welcome to another video. My name is Cara, this is Bianca Reads, and I'm a dumbass. I filmed me doing Bookopoly deal this month, and then I proceeded to delete the footage, but I really like how it ended up, so I'm not going to draw again. I'm just gonna roll with it and I'll talk to you about how it all went. You're just gonna have to trust me that I'm not lying, I guess, which you probably have to do anyway because I can doctor footage. So today we're talking about my June TBR. So we have Bookopoly deal. We also have the clear sheet readathon, which has specific prompts that I'm working towards, and I'm also going to participate in Whateverathon, or whatever you want-a-thon, which is hosted by Maddie at Book Browsing Blog and a bunch of other co-hosts, Mouse and Art from Mouse Reads, and I can't remember Art's blog name. I'll link everyone down below, but they run ClearShare. So I'm gonna go through Bookopoly deal first, then I will go through the prompts for clear shit and what I'm filling in for what, and then after that we'll talk about any bonuses I have. So I have quite a few of those. Oh, and of course our ever-present Buzzword Readathon prompt for this month is a name or a title, and for that I'm going to be reading Honey and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jaigadar. I read Henna Wars when it came out, loved it to pieces, can't wait to read this. I was expecting it to arrive today from Dimmicks, but Melbourne's also being put in a snap 7-day lockdown, so I'm not sure when exactly I'll get it, but I'm going to be reading it later in the month of June, but it's definitely going to get read and it's going to fill this Buzzword Readathon prompt. Okay, so I ended up basically with Bookopoly drawing a bunch of stuff, and I think in the end all but one of them, I think I made red? No, I made green, which is middle grades. So I made the green set, which is how we won the game, but I had a bunch of drawn extras, so I had to pull them out, and we ended up with one extra prompt but a lot of extra cash, but the cash all ended up just being below our final amount of prompts, so it kind of all balanced out. That was kind of how the game went. In regards, I promise July I'm going to be better. I'm going to make sure I film July properly, but I guess this is a combined TBR. You can enjoy the clear shit prompts as well. So first off, I drew out the first property card I drew out was Bond Street, which is a middle grade audiobook. I also got Rent for this, which meant I had to switch the series position. So originally I'd picked out The Twisted Tree by Rachel Herge. I had this out from my library. I ended up rush fitting it into into May because I didn't get it on. Rachel Burge wrote The Twisted Tree, so that was my original pick, and then I pulled out Rent, which meant I had to switch something for a different position in the series. The Twisted Tree is like standalone first in a series, so I switched up for something that was a sequel. So instead we're going to read Amelia Fang and the Naughty Catacorns, which is like the 5th Amelia Fang, I think, maybe the 6th, and is the one I'm up to. So we're going to be listening to that on audiobook instead. That's going to cover Bond Street. Then we had The Electric Company come up, and again we got Rent on this one as well. So Electric Company is a 2019 backlist sequel, and so I picked out Fire by Kristen Kishore, which I own it but I forgot to grab it out, so here it is here. But we ended up having to switch the genre, so instead I'm reading The Fated Sky. Oh, this is going to ruin my order. I'll figure it out again later. The Fated Sky by Mary Robinette Kowal. This is the second book in the Lady Astronauts series, which is a series that's an alternate history if there was a meteorite that hit Earth and it rushed the space race because everyone was needing to get off the planet because it was going to be unlivable over the next like 50 years. So I believe this one is set on the moon. They're trying to get to Mars, I think. I can't quite remember. But it has a little leap from book 1, I think, and book 3 has also come out, so I'm very excited for this. I keep forgetting that book 3's come out and I'm gonna have to put it on my buy list. Okay, so after that I got a Wildcard, which was the yellow red Wildcard, which is a contemporary or other genre. And I also got from that a rent as well. And I ended up going with a contemporary. And a contemporary rent meant it had to be, I hadn't picked something at the time that I got this, but it meant it had to be something that was a low priority. So I ended up picking Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez. This is kind of the bottom of my contemporary stack, but it actually works out kind of great because her second book, Perfect on Paper, has come out. I've been wanting to read it and buy it, but I couldn't because I hadn't read this, but this still wasn't a high priority for me. So it was kind of like I was gazing at it longingly, knowing it was going to be ages till I ever got to it. But instead we're reading this because it was a low priority. It's pretty short. It's only like 280 pages and it's a Grease retelling but gay. Then we drew another middle grade, which is a digital middle grade. So that is for Regent Street, and I picked out Maya and the Rising Dark by Rena Barron. I read Kingdom of Souls recently and enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I think this will be a really great middle grade. So that's what I picked up. I don't know that much about the actual plot, but it's inspired by African mythologies and it looks great. Next up I drew out Park Lane, which we do kind of often actually, and this is a Kindle something, so something I have digitally, mainly on my Kindle or Scribd. And so for this I picked out A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. Yes, I think so. This is a novella that I know Mouse has really read and loved. I know Riley read and loved it. A bunch of people have really enjoyed it. And it's been sitting in my Kindle library, desperate for me to read it. I think KJ and I are going to buddy read this. I'm very excited about it. And it's a vampire, like, polyamory, but like the girls all banding together against like Dracula, all the brides getting together to defeat Dracula, kind of. Apparently it's amazing, that's all I know. Then we drew our final one from the greens. So we wrapped up here and then went to our 2 picks. So our final, our +2s, which are +1s, pick up pass goes, that's what they're called, pass goes. So this was our final one before our pass goes, and this is Oxford Street, which is a physical middle grade, and for that I'm going to be reading The Strange Worlds Travel Agency, book 2, which is The Edge of the Ocean. I don't know that much about this, but it is the book 1. I don't know what happens in this book, but book 1 we follow our main character, what's her name, Flick, and she is like, her parents are really busy with her little baby brother and work and things, and she ends up babysitting a lot and she's trying to get out of the house, and she feels really like isolated because no one has time for her, and she ends up discovering this travel agency, which is just a bunch of suitcases on the wall, and you can step through them into magical worlds. The first one was amazing, I really loved it, so I'm very excited to pick up this second one. Then we obviously were going into our pass goes, and I had like 5 of them I think, so I picked out 5 cards. Most of them were money, but there were 2 that were for reading prompts. The first one was It's My Birthday, which I haven't had before, but I know April did, and it's a reread. So for my reread, I'm going to be listening to This Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, because Paige and I were talking about it the other day. She hated it and I loved it, and I couldn't pinpoint to her the things I liked about it, just that I loved the vibes, and she wanted me to explain how it worked to her because she just didn't get it. So I'm going to be rereading this. I'm going to listen to the audiobook though because I think it will be amazing. And then finally we drew Fleet Street, which is a mystery or thriller. Well, technically it's a no, it is a mystery or thriller. What was this one about? So I'm going to read for that The Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her, which is June Her's second book. She writes Korean historical mystery, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave 5 stars to The Silence of Bones, and I can't wait to pick this one up. So I'm very excited. So those plus a bunch of audiobooks and ebooks is my Bookopoly deal TBR. But now let's chat about Clear Your Shit prompts. So it is a bingo board for Clear Your Shit this round. It's a like 1.5 round, but it does run the whole month. The normal Clear Your Shit readathon runs for 2 months, so this is like a small version. And there is 9 prompts and a free space obviously on the bingo board. I mean 8 and a free space. It's a 3x3 bingo board. First up, I'm kind of just going across the lines. We have Candles, a book with a white or black cover. I'm going to listen to On the Come Up for this by Angie Thomas. I've been meaning to read this for ages. It's got a very dark cover, so I'm counting it as a black cover. I've been needing to read this for ages and I just haven't gotten around to it, so this is me prioritizing it. Then for Athame, a book in a genre you don't normally read. I don't normally read mystery thriller, so we're counting this for that. Then we have Cauldron, a book featuring a magical object. We're picking Strange Worlds for this. Obviously there's all these magical suitcases, so that's perfect. Then we have Bells, a comfort read, and obviously to me a comfort read is a reread, so the Style of Sea reread's coming in for that. Then we have Ancient Grimoire, a book over 400 pages. So I'm going to be listening to the audiobook of Winter, which is definitely over 400 pages. I think it's like 600, or even more, 800. It's like 800 pages. I'm going to be listening to the audiobook of this though, so it'll go by in a flash, I'm sure. Then we have A Bag of Teeth, which is a creepy book, so A Dowry of Blood's going to fill this prompt because it looks so eerie. Then we have Incense, a book in your favorite genre. For that I'm going to read The Gilded Ones by Namina Fauna. This is fantasy, young adult fantasy, which I would argue is my favorite genre, but I feel like I don't really have a favorite genre, but this seemed like the right thing to put here. This is African inspired, and something about like if you bleed gold you're magic. I'm not 100% sure about the details, and the back it does not help me, so I am really excited to read this though. Oh, if she bleeds red she will belong, but on the day of the ceremony her blood runs gold, the color of impurity, the color of a demon. So yeah, I think she's a demon because she's got gold blood. I'm interested to see how this plays out. I've heard good things, I'm excited about it. And then finally we have Chalice, a book with something elemental, and I realize this probably means like witchy elemental, so like fire, water, earth, air. I went with metal elements, like the periodic table elements in my head. So I'm going to be reading Alloy of Law. I think it works. It works. It's metals. This is the first in the spin-off like Mistborn Era 2 series. By Brandon Sanderson. April and I are reading this together as part of our like buddy read series, and this is set in the same world as Mistborn where they consume metals to do magic, so I'm making it count. So these books plus a few others are on my clear sheet TBR. Sorry, I'd forgotten a few things and I went to grab them. Then we drew some things from jars, you know, we do that. Actually I had one carryover from my TBR veteran section that I didn't read in May, so we're going to try and read it in June, and that's Golden Hand by Garth Nix. This is the sequel to the original Dark Earth, Old Kingdom Chronicles. I'm excited about it, and the newest one, Terciel and Eleanor, comes out in like September or something, so I need to read this before then, so I'm gonna try and get it done this month. We already had things from most other sections, so I drew one thing from my 2019 releases section. Normally I draw two, but I decided I only wanted to draw one. Don't ask me why. But we're going to be reading from that We Are Blood and Thunder by Keisha Lupo. This is about two girls. I think they might be secret sisters, or maybe they're lovers, but there's a battle over a city. I think one's trapped on the outside and one's on the inside. I don't really know. Oh, there's so many pictures in the front. I'm not a fan of this cover. The newer covers are much better, so if I really enjoy this I'm going to unhaul this version and re-buy the first and the second one in the cover that the second one came in, but we'll see my thoughts on this. I'm not sure what I'm gonna think, so we'll see. Then I had to draw two things from the 2020 releases section. That was the other section we didn't have covered. We'd gotten one, we normally get three. So I drew out Unravel the Dusk by Elizabeth Lim, which is great timing because her next book comes out in July, or end of June. And I want to buy it, but I'm going to have to have read this first. So this was perfect timing for this. This is the sequel to Spin the Dawn. I do think Spin the Dawn has some problems, especially around plotting and pacing, but also the main character pretends to be her brother, so it has a cross-dressing trope, but her brother also has a disability, so she like fakes a disability as well. So it's a bit on that front, but I really liked the world building and what was going on in that regard, so I'm interested to see where this one goes. The other one I drew out was Ignite the Sun by Hannah C. Howard, and I'm going to end up listening to this on audiobook, I think, because it's available on Scribd. And in this world, there's been no sun. And the queen is an evil witch who shrouded the whole kingdom in shadow, says the sun's dangerous, blah, blah, blah. And so she goes on a quest to bring back the sun. I love this cover to pieces. And underneath is a beautiful orange. Beautiful. So I'm going to be reading this on audiobook probably. I also have a bunch of stuff out on their way from the library, including books 2 and 3 in the Shades of Magic graphic novel series. Also volumes 1 and 2 of Check Please, and This Way Madness Lies, which is edited by Dahlia Adler. All those are coming from my library, so I might try and squish them in if we can. Some other books I would really like to squish in include One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, which will be coming out very shortly, and I'm very excited about it. It looks beautiful. Also, it ties in for Pride Month. I also want to read The Infinity Chords. I've been trying to get this read like since I got it, and I've just been struggling to get to it. It's been like at the end of my TBR every month and I haven't quite got to it, so I'm going to try and prioritize this month. This is an Asian inspired sci-fi kind of, where the main character she ends up dying. She's murdered, and when she wakes up she's in a place called Infinity, where human consciousness goes when physical bodies die. And a virtual assistant called Ophelia that's in humans on Earth has taken over the afterlife. It sounds so good. Very excited about it. High priority read. Some other Pride things I would really like to try and fit in and get to is Cool for the Summer by Dahlia Adler, which is another kind of Grease style retelling coming back from the summer holiday, but it's a love triangle between the popular boy at school and the girl she was dating over the summer. And also Meet Cute Diary by Emery Lee, which is a trans romance. I think, yes. Yeah, so it's a male-male romance, but at least one of the characters is trans. I can't remember if they're both trans or just one of them. But it looks adorable. I would also really like to get to, if I can, The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley, which is a murder mystery? No, it is a murder mystery set in the Anishinaabe Ojibwe area, following, it's a Native American author, native characters, and yeah, I'm upset this isn't very floppy. Like, nothing, no flop to be found, but I really want to read this. So this is probably my lowest priority. I'll try and get to those other ones first, especially the Pride ones, but I want to try and get to this as soon as possible, so you might end up seeing this again on my July TBR. So ta-da! Those are the books I'm going to try and get to over this month. I think it's achievable. A lot of audiobooks, so I feel less stressed out about it. And we'll just try and get to as many as we can. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye!